Now that you've sold this plan to your new customer, what goes into the tech stack that's going to provide those services? So when we're talking to our customers and we're doing cybersecurity risk assessments, we try to avoid talking about tools as much as possible. But at the end of the day, we still have a service that we need to deliver. So that gets us into speaking about the stack. So your stack is going to be a little bit different. I think one of the biggest things that people need to realize is your stack is never going to be perfect, especially when we're talking about cybersecurity. The landscape is changing day by day by day, and you're constantly going to be needing to tweak that. Whatever your stack is today, even if you were able to call that the perfect stack, it's going to be different in 6 months. So you need to be okay with the fact that your stack is never going to be perfect. But that's why a proper cybersecurity stack involves a lot of layers. So anything that may be lacking, it's built that way. There are other layers in order to help pick up the slack when something fails. The most important thing when you're looking at your stack is to make sure that you're following some sort of cybersecurity framework. If you're just throwing out tools randomly to try and solve for a problem, you're not doing things the right way. Pick a cybersecurity framework, whether it's CMMC. If you have customers that need to follow CMMC, you should be following that as well. If you don't have a specific framework that your customers need to be following, just pick one. Whether it's CIS version 8, NIST cybersecurity framework, just pick one. Eventually, probably in the very near future, we're all going to have to follow one. It may not even exist yet, but they all map pretty closely to each other. So just pick one, make sure you follow it, adhere to it, have a reason for the things that are in your stack. And if you can follow that and keep those things up to date and make sure that you have those proper layers in place, you'll always be ahead of the game. So when you have an MSP, you really need to be focusing on growth. Sales, marketing, we talk about all of those things all the time. But obviously, like we said, service delivery still comes into play. You still need to have these tools to provide the service that you're selling and marketing. One thing that I see a lot of MSPs do that they tend to fall into a trap of getting too involved in tool demos. So your stack is never going to be perfect. You need to be careful about that. You need to make sure that you're comfortable with the stack that you have today and only get lost in those tool demos when you have something that needs to be updated or replaced. So don't review a bunch of tools when you already have a 3-year contract on one of those tools in your stack already. It's not going to do you or your business any good. You need to make sure you're focused on making sure that you have tools that adhere to one of the cybersecurity frameworks and that you're evaluating tools as new threats have developed that need to be added to your stack or things that need to be replaced in your stack as those contracts come up. Don't spend all day working on tools. The whole point of a cybersecurity stack is to make sure that you have those various layers that are going to protect against one another. So if one piece is not the ideal tool for right that second, and you have other tools that are backing that up, it's, again, not going to ever be perfect. So you need to make sure that you're open to that. If you're looking for a guide to get started on figuring out what tools belong in your tech stack, see below for a link to our tech stack guide. This tech stack guide was curated based on CIS version 8. It's going to map largely to many of the other cybersecurity frameworks that are out there, but it's a basis. It's a checklist to get you started of categories of tools that you need to make sure are in your toolbox in order to provide the best level of cybersecurity protection for your customers. If you're looking to increase your monthly cash flow without selling more, see the link below for the next video. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.